everyone. This is Howard Rosenstein alongside Bruce Stahlbeck. We'll be broadcasting today's game between the Orioles and the Pirates. It's a cloudy day, but we're going to try to get this one in for you today. We'll be right back with player introductions. Stick with us.
If you took away a star for every 1 million people who didn't vote, and a stripe for every 5 million non-voters, and a patch of blue for the 10 million people who didn't care, exactly what kind of flag are we waving?
The Major A Pirates.
Hi, I'm Ned Murphy. I'm 12 years old and I go to the Chestnut Hill School. Hi, I'm Sean O'Malley. I'm 11 and I go to Heath School.
My name's Ryan Galefoy. I'm 12 years old and I go to Lincoln School.
Hi, I'm Todd Brem. I'm 12 years old and I go to Shady Hill School.
I'm Yuda Levy. I'm 12 years old and I go to Mimo.
Hi, my name is Andrew Lever. I'm 11 years old and I go to Baker School.
Hi, I'm Daniel Howard. I'm 11 years old and I go to Baker School.
I'm Joey Lawler and I'm 12 and I go to Lincoln.
Hi, I'm Alex Resnikoff. I'm 11 and I go to Runkle.
Hi, I'm David Resnick. I'm 10 and I go to Lincoln School.
And now the coaches.
We're the head cooks and bottle washers of the team. I'm Steve Z.
Will Porter. Thanks, and now back with the Orioles of the Brookline Youth Baseball.
And now introducing the 1997 Orioles.
Hi, I'm Patrick Moore. I'm 12 years old and I go to Pierce School.
Hi, I'm Kyle Palmer and I'm 11 years old and I go to Driscoll.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Polly. I go to Driscoll School and I'm 12 years old.
My name's Cody Jones. I'm 12 years old and I go to the Pierce School.
My name's Marco Minicello. I'm 11 years old and I go to Devotion School.
My name is Terrence Rayford. I'm 11 years old and I go to Pierce School.
I'm Eric Williams. I'm 12 years old and I go to Lawrence School.
Hi, my name's Sean McGillick. I'm 12 years old and I go to Pierce School.
Hi, my name is Matt Ferrara and I'm 11. I go to Pierce School.
And the coaches for the Orioles.
My name is Patrick Amir and I'm a coach for the Orioles.
Hello, Howard. My name is Harlan Shostak and I'm a coach of the Orioles. And I'd also like to say Pups was unable to make it today because he was not feeling well, but he'd like to be here, and hopefully we'll take care of today's
We'll bring one home for him.
That's what we're hoping to do.
And we'll be right back with today's action.
Say Merry Christmas. Did you have a good Christmas? Yeah, get lots of stuff. Yay! Get your horsey. Do something cute. You're just gonna sit there and grin.
Next time your friend insists on driving drunk, do whatever it takes to stop him.
And for today's action, play-by-play will be called by Bruce Stahlbeck. Bruce?
Thank you, Hal. First batter for the Orioles, Cody Jones. First pitch is a strike. And swinging strike. The pitcher, Sean O'Malley, ahead on the batter, 0-2. And that one is fouled off by Cody Jones. O'Malley still ahead on the batter, 0-2. O'Malley delivers. It's now 2-2 on Cody Jones.
Bruce, we have an anomaly here at Brookline Youth Baseball. We have a left-handed catcher. You don't see that too often. It's a very rare sighting to see a left-hander's catcher's mitt.
And O'Malley now goes full on Cody Jones.
O'Malley wants to keep the ball down today. That's going to be one of the keys to his pitching efforts today. Unfortunately, that was a little bit too down.
So now we have our first base runner as Jones goes to first. The number 2 batter coming up for the Orioles. Pat Moore. Pat Moore, a lefty. Both of these teams, Howie, struggling a little bit. Both at the bottom of their respective divisions. So this is a real important game for each of them.
Yeah, unfortunately, injuries have played a big part in the Orioles' disappointing year so far.
There's a shot! And the center fielder brings it back in, holding Pat Moore to a single and holding Cody Jones at second. So Matt Moore with a shot right up the middle. So 2 base runners on. Nobody out here for the Orioles. And Terrence Rayford coming to the plate. Rayford, a big player, one of the top picks in this year's draft. Looks at the first ball high. Arlen Shostak, coach of the Orioles, really wants to get going, moving into the playoffs and getting a hot team. And the ball gets by, and that'll advance both runners. Both runners moving up to third and second, respectively.
That's a good point, Bruce. You want to try to peak at the latter part of the year. Going into the playoffs, this is the last week of the regular season, so you want to start peaking now.
O'Malley looks in. Delivers another ball low. Howie, it's a wet, gray day here. Do you pitch any differently on a day like today?
You try to get the ball over the plate.
So it's no different than a sunny day.
Well, you really try to make sure that your control is on, because it's hard for the catcher to grab a ball in the dirt.
That one almost gets by, but the catcher smothers it. But another walk. So now the bases are packed here for the Orioles. In the first inning, nobody out. And Mitchell Pauley coming to the plate.
Do you know any last names?
Cody Jones.
For like Alex, Dan, and David.
One was like Reefer. They just said Alex on.
The first pitch to Mitchell Pauley was a strike. And the second pitch is a strike. So O'Malley ahead on Pauley. 0-2. Battling back.
Got to score some runs here. If you're an Orioles fan with bases loaded, not out, you got to bring a couple in.
And Kyle Pauley goes after a high pitch, fouls it off. He's still alive. 1-2. Mitchell Pauley, sorry. His brother Kyle, we'll see later. And Mitchell Pauley goes down swinging. First out of the inning for the Orioles. Nice pitch there by O'Malley. Mixing it up, high, low.
Looks like Mitchell went fishing on that one.
The next batter for the Orioles, Eric Williams. Looks at a ball inside. So there's one out. Bases are loaded. Nobody in for the Orioles, top half of the first inning. And there's a shot to Guilfoyle, and he makes a fantastic catch, almost catching the runner off first base, but Rayford quickly back to first base.
What a play by Ryan Guilfoyle, going to his left, gathering in the line drive, and having the presence of mind to try to double the runner off at first base.
And now the next batter is Kyle Pauly. And he goes after a very high pitch. Not quite as big as his brother, but swinging at a pitch that was probably in his brother's strike zone on that one. So there are 2 outs. Nubber in front of the mound. And the Orioles score a run. The pitcher made the play, but was not able to apply the tag. And now the umpire makes a call that the runner, Kyle Pauly, left the baseline and therefore is out. The run does score.
That's not.
There's a bit of a discussion here. And we'll be back with the bottom half of the inning later.
In a life-threatening emergency, you should know what to do. Say a loved one exhibits unusual symptoms. The first thing to do is...
Clear!
No. The first thing to do...
Oh! Tourniquet!
No! The first thing you do is pick up the phone and dial your emergency number.
Call 911 first.
Right.
How about mouth to mouth?
I don't think so. To learn more about life-saving techniques, contact your Red Cross.
Here we are back at the ball field. The Orioles are now in the field and the Pirates are coming up. The pitcher for the Orioles is Mitchell Pauly, big fireballing right-hander. And the first batter for the Pirates is Todd Brem, their shortstop.
Mitchell throws hard.
And Mitchell delivers the first ball outside. Ball 1. Second delivery high and outside. 2-0. Nobody out. The score 1-0 Orioles, as they scored on a somewhat controversial play in the first inning. Brem looks at ball 4, so the Pirates now have their first base runner. And Kyle Pauly working quickly here, but not yet finding the strike zone. And I'm sorry, that's Mitchell Pauly again. The second batter here for the Pirates is Andrew Lever, their right fielder. So now it's 1-1 to Andrew Lever.
If I were Steve Z, you may want to consider giving the take sign if he hasn't thrown a strike yet.
Oh, and he chases another ball high. So it's 1-2. Mitchell seems to be delivering the ball high consistently and working very quickly here, Howie.
Extremely quickly. If he were to take a second, take a deep breath, and think about his mechanics, it looks like he's not bending his back and following through.
And that ball gets by, but it is ball 4 anyway, so the base runner advances one base freely. And now we have runners on first and second, and the number 3 batter, Ryan Guilfoyle.
Ryan, one of the pure hitters in the National League, and in fact in all of Brookline baseball. Let's see how he fares against the hard-throwing Pauly. Mitchell really needs to concentrate on his mechanics. He needs to bring his right leg with him, in a follow-through position.
And the ball got by, but the runner trying to move over from second to third is out. So there's one out here. The runner on first advanced to second without taking a look at the runner who was on second, and he hadn't yet advanced. So a little bit of confusing base running by the Pirates, but they'll try to get back after it. Ryan Guilfoyle fouls that one off. Our crack statistician Zvi Dubitsky pointed out that Ryan Guilfoyle homered off of Mitchell Polley in last night's All-Star game. So these two know one another.
It wasn't just a homer. I think we've cleared 2 ball fields, I think.
So mano y mano here.
That could have proven to be a big out at third. Let's see what happens. You always want to have as few base runners as possible on base when Ryan Guilfoyle is up at the plate.
Polley looks in, delivers. The count is full on Ryan Guilfoyle. Runner at second, one out. Bottom half of the first inning here for the Pirates. Guilfoyle digs in and fouls that one off.
Ryan's older brother, Sean, is the starting catcher, I believe, for the high school team.
Baseball runs in the family, huh?
That's right. I think we faced him a couple of times a few years back, Bruce.
And so Ryan Guilfoyle fouls another one off, staying alive. 3-2. One out, one on. Nobody in for the Pirates. Guilfoyle, who had made that great play at first base, digs in and goes down swinging. So Mitchell Polley has 2 pretty quick outs after a somewhat shaky start. And the number 4 batter, Sean O'Malley, coming to the plate.
Did you happen to see the stare down that Guilfoyle made on the pitcher, Mitchell Polley? It was like he said, "I'm going to get you next inning."
So Sean O'Malley fouls off that first pitch. 0-1. 2 down. Man on second. Nobody across for the Pirates. Bottom half of the first inning, fouls off the second pitch. So Mitchell Polley up on Sean O'Malley, 0-2. Mitchell settling into a groove. Or so Arlen Shostak, of the coach of the Orioles, hopes. Outside with the next pitch. 1-2. Little bit of a mist coming in, Howie.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's June 1st today, and it feels like April 1st. Poor Svi is trying to cling on to whatever clothing he has on him. If you were a real gentleman, Bruce, you'd give him one of your one of your coats.
It looks like you have a coat there too, Howie.
It's just a windbreaker.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Poor 12-year-old kid is cold.
I feel so guilty. I'm here offering one of my star players my coat, and that was the 3rd out of the inning. The Orioles leave the ball field, so now we've got at the end of 1-0 Orioles. We'll be back in a second.
Which child deserves to be read to? This one? Or is it this one? Which child will learn to use a toothbrush? Who will have a chance to sing? The choice is yours. Volunteer for Head Start. With your help, more low-income preschool children can get what other children already have. Change the world of a child, and you change the world.
The top half of the second inning, the Orioles number 7 batter, Matt Ferreira, up. And Sean O'Malley delivers the ball high and away. Ball 1. So now the Orioles are up 1-0 after 1.
Obviously, they're going to try to add to the lead.
And Ferreira nails the ball, takes a big hop over the shortstop's glove, and now gets back in by the center fielder, and Ferreira goes to second base and goes to third base.
Oh, and what a great stop by the third baseman to save that ball from going into the out of bounds and letting the run score. A beautiful play by Ned Murphy, a barehanded stab with a wet ball. Bruce, you got a question if that really should have been a ground rule double. It looks like it got entangled into the net. The rules are if it goes past the net, it would be a ground rule double. I thought he had to reach under the net to get that ball.
Little bit of confusion, but because the umpire is situated behind the batter. But now moving to the next batter, Sean McGillick, number 8 batter here. Tall.
I'm sorry, Bruce. For those of you scoring at home, that would be a single and a 2-base error.
Sean McGillick digs in, nobody out, 1 ball on him. Runner at third, Matt Ferrer. Called strike 1-1. And I guess that's a ball. 2-1. Delivered low and in the dirt, but nobody advances. 3-1 on Sean McGillick. Howie having to leave for a moment, so I'll be joined here by Zvi Dubitsky. Zvi, welcome aboard.
Hi.
And Sean McGillick fouls off that ball, so now the count is full. Nobody out, Matt Ferrer on third base. Top half of the second inning, 1-0 Orioles. So Zvi, thanks for coming today and joining us this morning.
No problem.
And Sean McGillick advances to first base and almost tries to advance to second base on the ball 4.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Pirates threw down shorter to third right now with runners on first and third. I'll probably be stealing.
So with runners on first and third, you frequently see a double steal. Steve Zvi at the mound now, and looks like he may be changing pitchers.
Setting up the defense for the double steal.
No, I guess he's setting up the defense for the double steal. Kyle Payne goes out, breaks up the conference, and now we'll have baseball again.
Number 9 hitter.
The number 9 hitter, Marco Minicello. The Orioles shortstop digs in, stares down O'Malley. First and third, nobody out. No runs in here in the top half of the second inning. Minicello goes around on that one. So we have strike 1. No movement from McGillick to steal second base. And the ball gets by the catcher, and that will advance McGillick to second base. So now the Orioles have second and third. Minicello up at the plate. Nobody out. No runs in yet, but certainly the Orioles are threatening. And Sean O'Malley delivers high to Marco Minicello. You've pitched against Marco before. What are the keys to pitching against this Oriole team, Zvi?
Well, for the top half of the order, you've got to keep it low. Cody Jones can drive the ball. Mitchell Pauly, Terrence Rayford definitely. And in the second half, I just throw strikes, and your defense will make the outs. That's what the Pirates should be doing right now. just throw a strike and something will happen.
So now Sean O'Malley unfortunately delivers a ball. Ball gets by, but none of the runners advance. Trying to deliver that strike that Zvi Dubitsky asked for, but unfortunately can't, and Marco Minicello walks down to first base. So now the bases are jammed and the top half of the order due up for the Orioles. This is really where their power is, Zvi, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that was a very important hitter. The Pirates just had to get him out because now they've got to face Cody Jones, Pat Moore, and Terrence Rayford, and they can all do some damage to this lineup.
And that first ball is fouled off by Cody Jones. Good hitter, tall, athletic catcher for the Orioles. Bases are jammed, nobody out.
Yeah, I played with Cody 2 years back, and once he's on base, he's always a threat to steal. So they've got to get him out. Because if he's on base, that also means a run is scored. So.
The ball gets by the catcher, but the runners do not advance. So it's 1-1 against Cody Jones. Arlen Shostak with a threat here in the top half of the second. They loaded the bases in the top half of the first and only pushed across one run. They really want to push across a few more. And that ball also gets by the catcher, but none of the base runners advance. O'Malley's struggling with his control. Wet balls, V, is it tough to pitch in these conditions?
Oh, yeah. I think it was 2 weeks ago we played here, and when the mound's muddy, you just slip and slide and can't find your control and your footing. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties there. With the wet ball, it's really hard to pitch in these conditions.
Great, so now O'Malley delivers a ball to Cody Jones. And O'Malley delivers a high strike to Cody Jones. He's now got 2 strikes, 3 balls, count is full. O'Malley digs in.
You might want to note that the Pirates are now warming up Yehuda Halevi, and I wouldn't be surprised if you saw him at the end of this inning or even next inning. Hard-throwing 12-year-old.
So now Cody Jones walks and pushes across the second run for the Orioles. It's now 2-0 Orioles. Top half of the second, Pat Moore, the batter, fouls the first pitch off.
Pat had a single up the middle last time he was up. So if he can do that again, that'll put 2 runs across and give them a nice little cushion for Mitchell Pauly to work with.
And the ball gets by. None of the base runners advance. Catcher for the Pirates doing a good job. Dan Howard getting back to the backstop quickly and holding that runner on third base, at third base. O'Malley still struggling with his control a bit.
Pirates are missing their starting catcher, Gabe Berkowitz. So I don't think Dan catches that much. I think it's Gabe and Ryan Guilfoyle. So he's doing a good job back there.
Another ball delivered to Pat Moore. Moore digs in, good hitter. Any team would really like to have him. And he walks, pushing across the third run for the Orioles. Steve Zvi, second visit to the mound. Looks like he's going to go to the bullpen. And it's Joe Lawler coming in. And I guess we'll have a new pitcher as Steve Zvi changes around his defense. Tries to fit Lawler into the lineup. Ryan Guilfoyle switching from a first baseman's glove. He is now headed to center field. The pitcher, Sean O'Malley, the past pitcher, is going to come in and play first base. So time is out here as Jim Lawler warms up. Bases are packed.
In a recent worldwide educational test, the United States didn't rank first or second or even third.
Switzerland.
It seems while the rest of the world raised their educational standards,
Scotland. Slovenia.
we didn't.
Spain.
So we came in 14th.
The United States.
And 14th is no place for our kids to be. Call 1-800-96-PROMISE, and we'll give you lots of ways to help our kids move forward again.
Terrence Rayford comes to the plate with the bases loaded, and Joe Lawler pitching. Any run here will be given to Sean O'Malley. These are inherited runs. And Terrence is number 3 hitter in the lineup. Very powerful. Last night had a couple home runs in the home run derby and the Brookline Youth Baseball Majors A All-Star game to help the American League win that home run derby.
And Terrence hits a shot up past the shortstop and through the left fielder's legs for a double. Ryan Guilfoyle throws the ball in on a P and nails Pat Moore at the plate. What a fantastic play.
Ryan with an extraordinary arm. You never want to try and get extra bases if he's got the ball in center field. He'll gun you down.
And Terrence Rayford now at second base with a 2-run scoring double. Unfortunately wasn't able to clear the bases as Pat Moore gets nailed at the plate by a fantastic play by Ryan Guilfoyle. The number 4 batter for the Orioles digs in, Mitchell Pauley.
Mitchell struck out his last at-bat against Sean O'Malley, but I'm sure he's going to want payback now. If I were the Pirates, I'd be playing our outfielders deep. Their outfielders deep, trying to hold.
So 1 down here against the Orioles. Mitchell Pauley digs in and looks at a ball high. 2-0 from Joe Lawler.
Joe's not a very hard thrower, but moves the ball around the plate. Mitchell also in that home run derby with Terrence. He won it. He's the last batter with 2 home runs. And then pitched a great 2 innings last night at the All-Star game.
So Lawler delivers. And he delivers a strike, and Terrence Rayford is off and over to third base, safe. So the Orioles advance the base runner to third. Pauley, a single, will bring in their 6th run. Right now it's 5-0 Orioles. 1 out. Lawler delivers and Pauley fouls it off above our heads. So here we are in the top half of the 2nd inning. 5-0 Orioles, 1 down. Terrence Rayford on third base. Mitchell Pauley digs in. Joe Lawler on the mound. Delivers. Pauley fouls it off. The rain has stopped, but it's still a gray day. Still somewhat wet conditions here. But the kids are playing through it. Mitchell Pauley and Joe Lawler battling. Mitchell fouling a lot of balls off. Mitchell, a big, strong batter. Zvi, when you're facing a batter like that, what are you thinking about?
I think you should always be throwing the ball inside and high, so the guy can't inside and low, so the guy can't really extend his arms. Because power hitters like Mitchell and Ryan and Terrence love to extend and just drive the ball. And I think Joe was thinking something to that effect when he threw those last couple of pitches inside, and Mitchell had to shorten his swing.
Yep. Eric Williams, now the batter for the Orioles. Power hitters like to extend and drive the ball, so keeping it inside is really always a good idea. Zvi a master at pitching that way. Joe Lawler delivers. High and outside. 3-0 on Eric Williams. Runners on first and third for the Orioles. Mitchell Pauley on first. Terrence Rayford on third. Batter Eric Williams. Sees ball 4. So now the bases are jam-packed with Orioles here.
And here comes Kyle Pauley to the plate. Kyle grounded out in somewhat of a controversial play last inning when he hit one back to the pitcher. The pitcher threw home, the run was safe, but then he apparently went out of the base paths and was called out, but the run still crossed.
So actually a single and then a bit of a base running boo-boo, we'll call it, by Kyle Pauley. Thought he was out. But he drives that one into right field to the fence, and that'll bring in some runs for the Orioles. 2 runs cross the plate. Eric Williams goes to third, and Kyle Pauley with a single, plating 2 more Orioles. 6 runs across here for the Orioles.
I think if the bases weren't loaded and the guys there were holding for a second to see if it was caught, Kyle would have been able to get at least a double. That was a well-hit ball for a small little guy like him. He's certainly got some power like his brother. He's going to be great.
So the Pauley brothers doing some damage for the Orioles. Pirates struggling, having a difficult time throwing strikes, but now the next batter, Matt Ferrer, sees ball 1. So Lawler struggling with the control, just as Sean O'Malley before him did. It's probably a wet ball, difficult to hold on to.
Extremely tough since both these teams have a game later today, and they've got to think about who they're pitching now and later. The Pirates take on the Tigers and the Orioles, the Red Sox. Orioles, in fact, right after this game. So they've got to think about who they're throwing, and I think the Pirates are just want to get this game done with and think about the next one.
But it's Little League Baseball, so 10 runs an inning is not unheard of, so the Pirates certainly not out of it. It's early, and the Orioles breaking out offensively so far, doing a great job. Arlen Shostak, their coach, extremely happy so far, I would assume.
Yeah, in the pregame I was talking with Arlen, and I said his team was hitting the ball real well, and he said that's what they've got to do to win against teams like the Pirates, who their first 5 guys can each get 4 hits a game.
And so the batter, Matt Ferrer, goes down swinging. Strike 3, 2 outs now for the Orioles. Pirates get some more life to them, and the batter now, Sean McGillick, digs in and sees strike 1, so Lawler battling back.
Sean walked last inning, this inning rather, on 5 pitches.
And the base runner advances to second base, the base runner being Kyle Pauley with that shot that plated 2. So now it's second and third. Sean McGillick up, looks at another strike, and Lawler coming back.
Lawler's just 11, and he hasn't pitched much this year, but he's doing his job out there.
Fires another ball, teasing McGillick, but not able to get him go. 2 outs here, runners on second and third. 6 runs across in the second inning, so it's 7-0. Seven to nothing Orioles. And a new ball is thrown into the field of play. Hopefully it's a little bit drier than that last one. But I actually felt this ball, and it's also wet. So very difficult conditions out there today. And that one slips out of his hands, proving the point.
I think another factor here is just that the infield grass is rather high, which will slow the ball down.
High and wet.
Yeah, if there's one out, I wouldn't be surprised if.
And Sean McGillick with a shot over the fence. A 3-run home run. Beautiful hit. And McGillick rounds the bases, headed for home. Three more runs for the Orioles, making it 10-0 Orioles.
Last year, Sean was on the Major B Milwaukee Brewers, who won it all, and he hit a home run in that game. He's a great hitter.
He hit a home run in the championship games, V? So, showing the power again. The coach, the assistant coach of the Pirates, goes out to visit his young fireballing right-hander, Joe Lawler. Joe Lawler smiling, so realizes that you give up home runs every once in a while. Not a big deal. You just go back and battle them out. So there are 2 outs already. He seems ready to go. And the next batter for the Orioles? Marco Minicello.
The sun's coming out a little here, so that will make maybe a little better conditions for the fielders, looking up into the sky and finding the ball a little quicker.
It's more wishful thinking than anything else on Zvi's part, I think. No, maybe there is actually some sun up there somewhere in that sky. So Lawler delivers again, the second pitch. And that one almost hits Marco Minicello. So it's 2-0 against Minicello. Bases are clear of Orioles. 10 runs across here in the second for the Orioles. 1 run in the first inning, making it 11-0, I think. Maybe it's 10. Let me check.
Arlen's team has always been a hard-hitting ball club. Last year, Michael Hauk and Drew, and so you always have to fear them, but they're really getting it done here, just like they had hoped to going into the playoffs next week.
And fantastic points, V. Marco Minicello now with a walk, so the Orioles again have base runners. And the top of the order coming up for the Orioles, Cody Jones will be their next batter.
Cody, an all-star catcher. Great speed on the base paths. The Pirates desperately need an out to start their comeback trail in the bottom of this inning.
And it is 10-0. Ball gets by, and Minicello down to second base. It's tough to end an inning like this sometimes, V. Does it feel? What does it feel like on when you're playing out there?
Yeah, it seems like after you let up a home run, it just sort of starts over, and you can get that last out, but then it starts. And then runners get back on base, and you're into that again, and yeah, it's really frustrating.
Sometimes players get down, but the second baseman got down on the ball right there, and a ground out. And the third out of the inning. So it's 10-0 Orioles, and the Pirates will try to come back and do some more damage and get back in this game. We'll be back in a sec.
Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so I rise, I rise, I rise.
Terrence Rayford, the new pitcher for the Orioles. Some changes defensively for the Orioles. Pat Moore moves to center field.
And Bruce, the sun is coming out.
Zvi pointed that out last inning.
What do you mean last inning? Last inning was raining.
And now the batter digs in. It is Pirates' first batter, squares to bunt. That's Ned Mashaw?
Murphy.
Ned Murphy. Ned Murphy, the number 5 batter here in the last half of the second. Pirates down 10 runs, have to get it going. Rayford delivers, and Ned with a shot, and it's gone out there. A fantastic catch
by Kyle Pauly.
Jets coming in defensively. Kyle Pauly playing the offense and the defense out there. Rayford helped out.
Bruce, I have to say that before the game started, I was talking to the coach of the Orioles, Arlen Shostak, and he was saying that Kyle Pauly is the most improved player on his team so far this year. From start to finish, he's the most improved.
And there's another shot lifted out there, and Pat Moore with a diving stab just missed a second. Brilliant out, but the base runner, Joe Lawler, the pitcher, gets a single. So the Pirates trying to get something started, and the Orioles playing great defense, trying to rob them. So Joe Lawler on first.
It's interesting, Bruce, the Orioles' weakness the whole year has been defense, but evidently today it's not that case. And there's a pass ball, and Lawler takes second.
And it's Dan Howard, the batter, left-handed batter. Digs in. Swinging strike against Terrence Rayford. Rayford, a tall right-handed fireballer for the Orioles. Digs in, delivers, low.
Nice stop by Cody Jones there.
Steve Zvi, coach of the Pirates, turning around, talking a little bit with our cameraman. I hope we have Steve's best side. I'm not sure what that side would be, but Terrence Rayford delivers high, ball 4. So Dan Howard trots on down to first. Runners on first and second. 1 out for the Pirates, trying to get something started. And now it's Alex Reznikov, number 14, digs in, looks at ball 1.
Notice the coaching styles of Steve Z and Will Porter. Steve prefers to coach on a wind blustery day in shorts and a windbreaker, and Will Porter's out there in a trench coat.
Both looking
indicative of their personalities, wouldn't you say?
Both looking extremely stylish. Steve has that Reebok. Reebok's actually, I think, sponsoring Steve's clothing right now. That ball in the dirt, advancing both runners.
We also have to appreciate the sandals on a wet grass field.
He's a trooper. He's a battler.
Okay, runners on second and third. 1 out.
Reznikov digs in, looks at a ball. 2-1. Reznikow, I'm sorry, I was saying Reznikov. So it's Reznikow. Howie correcting me on that one.
We've been further corrected as Reznikov.
Boy, what confusion. It's Reznikov.
Must be a typo, Bruce.
Must be. Rayford digs in, delivers, and a shot. Fouled off. Howie almost be able to make a fantastic play on that, but actually trying to duck behind me.
Serves me right for not pronouncing his name correctly. Sorry about that, Alex.
And another one fouled off. He seems to be aiming at us, Hal. Please keep your hands up, okay? On the table.
I'm ready. Right here, Alex.
And there's a nubber over the first baseman's head into right field, where Matt Ferrer is able to bring it in, and a play at third base gets by the third baseman, and Reznikov will advance to second base. So 2 runners across for the Pirates, and they're coming back. So now it's 10-2, Pirates. Alex Reznikov plating 2 runners. And now the...
David Resnick is up.
David Resnick, the number 9 hitter for the Pirates. He squares to bunt. Good bunt, but foul.
Bruce, we could be breaking a record here in Brookline Youth Baseball for the longest 2-inning game so far.
This second inning has been quite a struggle for both teams, defensively. Offensively, they're enjoying themselves.
We're bringing in the president of Brookline Youth Baseball, Bert Nadler, who's preparing his troops for another game this afternoon.
Bert in second place in the American League to, I believe it's the league leading...
Tigers, actually.
Tigers. And Terrence Rayford delivers a ball high to the backstop. Cody Jones hustles back, tries to throw out the runner advancing to third. Reznikov is not able to, but a good try, good effort there. So now a runner on third for David Resnick. Resnick looks at a ball. It's now 2-2 on Resnick. One down here, runner on third.
2 runs are in.
10-2. There's a shot with a great play by the third baseman. McGillick not able to squeeze it.
What a play by Eric Williams to come up with that stab. Fortunately, the throw was just a little high. The runner's going to go to second base on the overthrow.
So that'll plate another runner. It's now 10-3 as Resnick singles. Eric Williams with the great play, and now top of the order for the Pirates, Todd Brem. Three runs across here for the Pirates, 10-3. Rayford delivers high ball 1. Todd Brem got out last time. He walked and then was out at second. I believe he was caught stealing. Brem digs in. Great pitch there by Terrence Rayford.
Looks like Todd just pulled out a little bit with his front foot. It's called stepping in the box, as us coaches say. Always want to put that foot forward.
Falls off the next pitch. So one down here. Runner on second, David Resnick. Todd Brem digs in, watches the ball go by, and Resnick advances to third. So all the pitchers here kind of struggling with control. Wet ball field, difficult to throw strikes. Offensive explosions. And Brem goes down swinging for the second out of the inning.
That's a big out, Bruce. Terrence can hold the Pirates to only 3 runs this inning. They'll be able to get out of here with a 10-3 lead. There's a runner on third base, 2 out.
Second hitter, Andrew Lever. Number 2 hitter in the Pirates lineup. He's got a runner on third base, wants to plate that runner. 2 outs. Ball in the dirt. Cody Jones does a nice job of keeping it in front of him. Keeping Resnick stuck at third. Rayford looks in, delivers.
We should point out, Bruce, that Rayford is in pitching because Mitchell Pauly developed some soreness in his throwing arm.
Pitched last night in the All-Star game.
Being wrapped right now with ice.
And there is a single up the middle for Andrew Lever, and that plates another runner. So it's now 10-4.
Good buddy.
And now the Pirates have a threat, and their biggest threat hitter coming to the plate, Ryan Guilfoy. Should be a good battle here with Rayford against Guilfoy.
Remember, Guilfoy struck out last time. He was a little upset.
Watches the ball to the backstop. Runner advances to second. Lever now on second. He'll be off with the pitch. Guilfoy can get a hold of it. Lever will likely score. So they just want a single here from Guilfoy. We'll see what he can do. Watches the next ball outside. 2-0 against Guilfoy. Watches ball 3. Is Rayford pitching around Guilfoy here, Hal?
I don't think so. To tell you the truth, I think it's more of a control problem. Seems to be all over the plate.
Guilfoy digs in and watches that one go. Guilfoy with a 2-run shot. 5-10, cutting the lead in half.
We said it to you folks just a minute ago that Guilfoy was upset that he struck out the last time. He took out his revenge on Terrence with a bomb over the right field fence.
Opposite field home run. Guilfoy with tons of power. And now Arlen Shostak goes out.
He's calling. He's making the call to the bullpen.
Calm down his pitcher, Terrence Rayford. Terrence looks a bit upset with giving up that 2-run home run, but he'll be okay.
Evidently that was a call to warm up someone in the bullpen, I believe. In this age of technology, we don't yell out for the new pitcher anymore. We take out our cell phone. Of course, all the players are wearing beepers now, Bruce. 12-year-old players wearing beepers. You took my last chocolate honey dip.
Another one. Howie, stop complaining. The next batter here for the Pirates, Sean O'Malley, the starting pitcher. Watches the ball go to the backstop.
Terrence
Rayford's
is having
struggling.
a lot of trouble with his motion. He's releasing the ball way too early. He's not bending it back and following through, and that's why his pitches are going high. Pitching is the art of a lot of mechanics, a lot of motion.
Consistency is the name of the game with pitching, and he gets a strike. So he's still battling back. There are 2 outs here. Bottom half of the second inning, 10-5, Orioles. But the Pirates pushing across 5 runs, cutting the lead in half, and battling. Rayford delivers. And it's right up the middle. Rayford knocks it down, but is unable to handle it cleanly. And the first, Sean O'Malley gets to first. Rayford with a great play to just knock that one down.
Sure did. He got handcuffed a little bit. He almost got the, he almost caught it, but it just bounced off the heel of his glove. And in this tall grass, he wasn't able to pick it up.
Ned Murphy, the hitter, nubs one foul.
Clever move by Steve Z, trying to drag Bunts in that situation down the third base line, trying to catch the third baseman napping. Unfortunately for him, it went a little bit foul.
So I guess that's not a nubber?
That would not be a nubber. That would be an attempted drag bunt.
So there's a shot to the shortstop, and he is able to throw out.
Taking one out of his hip pocket. Folks, it's 10-5 in the bottom of the second inning. Stay with us. We'll be right back with the Orioles coming up in the third.
I've had the same friends since I was a little kid. But this year, some of them started playing with these other kids. I guess there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's cool making new friends and all, but they weren't like us. They were, different. And I heard my big brother saying some pretty bad stuff about people like them. But they seemed pretty cool, and we had a pretty good time. So, maybe my brother doesn't know everything.
Hey, Carlos, come on, we need you. Don't be afraid. Be your friend.
The Pirates, score is 10-5. Orioles are winning. And here's the pitch, and Pat Moore rips a single past the second baseman and into right field, where Yehuda Halevi grabs it and throws it back into the cutoff person. So that would be a single for Pat Moore.
Here comes Terrence Rayford, the pitcher for the Orioles. Terrence has doubled and walked today. He's in the All-Star game last night and in the home run derby, as I said before. Had a couple home runs. Alongside we have Bert Nadler and Max Nadler.
Just going through a few
Max and Brendan,
rules and regulations for Brookline Youth Baseball.
Start loosening up. Let's go. Max, get out of there.
Yehuda's in right.
Right.
Yehuda's in right.
Here's the pitch from Lawler. And Rayford way out in front of that one. It's a pass ball. Moore's heading to third, and he slides in safely. Pat Moore advancing to third on a pass ball. So we have a runner at third base with no outs. Terrence at the plate. Swings way out in front again. The ball gets past the catcher, Dan Howard, but no advancement by Pat Moore. There's no outs in the top of the third. Here's Lawler with the windup and the pitch. And it's high. Ball four. Terrence takes first base on the walk, setting up a first and third situation. Let's see if Coach Arlen Shostak is going to send the runner at Svi. My guess is he will. What do you think?
He hasn't. He's had two opportunities to earlier in the game, and he hasn't. So, and Terrence doesn't have all that much speed. So I don't think so. And the Pirates have some sort of defense against the double steal.
I think he personally should take a little bit of a risk. He's up 10-5. Worst comes to worst, if the play will get thrown out at second, you'll still have the runner at third with one out to get him in.
Very slow game today. Other team, the next game is already here. The Red Sox facing the Orioles.
That's right. And there's a strike to Felix Borikoff, who's in for Mitchell Pauly. And Terrence takes second on the pass ball. So runners are in scoring position. As we say, 2 ducks on the pond. Felix Borikov. Today is picture day for Brookline Youth Baseball. All the kids are getting their pictures taken and team photos. Here's the pitch by Lawler, a strike called, strike 3 looking. So Felix Borikov goes down on strikes. That's the first out of the inning. Eric Williams is coming up to the plate with runners on second and third. Eric has a walk and a line out to the first baseman on a beautiful play by Guilfoyle. Here's the pitch, and Williams is a little out in front of that one. Strike 1. It's turning into a nice day here in Brookline at Elliott Field. The sun is peeking through the clouds. Williams takes high, ball 1. Lawler in the set, the windup, here's the pitch. Ball 2. 2-1 is the count, and there's a timeout on the field for a ball into right field from the adjoining field here at Warren Park. Here's Lawler's pitch. High, ball 3, gets past the catcher. There's no advancement by Moore at third. 3-1, hitter's pitch. This is the pitch that hitters love to face. Pitcher has to bring one in now. And it looks like low, ball 4. So bases are going to be loaded for Kyle Pauly, who made that beautiful catch out in left field.
Last inning, Kyle came up with the bases loaded and hit the fence in right field. Was held to a single. Hoping to do that again.
Another good opportunity for Kyle. Steve Z is at the pitcher's mound, talking to his pitcher. Oh, and he's bringing in Yehuda Halevi. So Yehuda is going to take some warm-up throws. Joe Lawler goes into right field. Steve Z wants to keep this game as close as possible.
They're all happy.
Halevi almost hitting Arlen Shostak. Looks like there's a party on at second base where the Orioles and the Pirates are getting together. And here we go. The sun is peeking through the clouds. Here's Halevi coming in with the bases loaded and no outs. Kyle Pauly, the batter. Kyle Pauly, the brother of Mitchell Pauly, the starting pitcher. Here's the pitch. Kyle swings and misses at the first offering by Halevi. Strike 1. Halevi in the windup and the pitch. High, ball 1. Count is 1-1 to Kyle Pauly. And there's a grounder. Back to the pitcher. Pitcher goes home with it for out number 1. Getting the lead runner at home. A good play by Halevi.
Here comes the lefty, Matt Farrar.
Matt will come up with bases loaded and 1 out. Score is 10-5. Top of the 3rd inning. So far, the Pirates have used 3 pitchers. They started off with Sean O'Malley, then went to Joe Lawler, and now it's Yehuda Halevi. The Orioles are on their 2nd pitcher. They started with Mitchell Pauly, and they now have Terrence throwing for them. And there's a foul ball off the bat of Farrar.
Both,
Strike one.
both teams really are running out of pitchers. They each have second game today. Pirates may have to use Ryan Guilfoyle a little.
Well, let's hope not, because they're playing the Tigers, and that's our team.
Yeah. Actually, Hal, we've hit Ryan pretty well.
Here's a pass ball past Howard, and Terrence comes in and scores the Orioles' 11th run of the game, sliding in safely, and all the other runners advance to second and third.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you pitch less than 3 innings, you can pitch again.
Well, the rules of baseball are that if you pitch 3 innings or less, you need 1 calendar day's rest. If you pitch 4 or more innings, you need 3 calendar days rest. So it'll be interesting to see what transpires.
So Steve could still use his first 2 pitchers.
I believe so. And there's a strike 3 to Farrar. By my book, that's only the second out, but evidently that's the third. So Farrar goes down swinging. At the end of 3, the score is 11-5. Orioles in the lead. We'll be right back.
2 o'clock. Okay.
Your employees who serve in the National Guard and Reserve may seem different. They may work a little harder, be more confident, more willing to make the extra effort to get the job done right. So when your employees need time off to serve, remember, it's not just good for our country, it's good for your business.
Glad you could all make it.
And we're back at the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Pirates are coming to bat, and leading off for the Pirates will be Joe Lawler. There's a ground ball to the third baseman. Eric Williams throws him out. Safe. No, safe. He dropped the ball. McGillick dropped the ball, so he's safe at first. So Joe Lawler reaches first on a single, on an error on the third baseman. That brings up Dan Howard, the lefty catcher. Rayford in the windup. Here's the pitch. Howard squares the bunt. Fielded fairly by Cody Jones. He's out at first, and the runner advances to second. So Dan Howard got the job done, advancing the runner. That's the first out of the inning. For those of you scoring at home, that would be 2-3.
Which brings up Yehuda Halevi. Came in to pitch last inning. Got them out of a little jam.
Speed, you go to school with Yehuda, don't you?
Yeah.
Here's a high pop-up to Terrence Rayford. He grabs it for the second out of the inning, and the runners do not advance. That'll bring up David Resnick, evidently a star in yesterday's soccer game, shutting out his opponent in the first half and scoring the winning goal in the second half. He squares the bunt. A beautiful bunt. Oh, and it rolls foul. A nice try by David. So the count will be 0-1. We're joined in the stands by super umpire Mo Gomez, who did a fabulous job in yesterday's All-Star game. Here's the pitch from Rayford, and David swings and misses for strike 2. 0-2. Looks like we have a fielder asleep out in right field. And strike 3, Rayford strikes out David Resnick for the third out of the inning, so no damage done. A great inning of pitching by Terrence Rayford. We're going to the 4th inning, folks, if you can believe it, with the Orioles coming up and leading 11-6. We'll be back.
He protects all living things in the forest. But he can't do it alone. Please don't play with matches. Put out your campfires. And never, ever forget the words of Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
A big 3-run homer over the center field fence.
Here's Yehuda's second offering. McGillick. A high strike. So that's 1-1 is the count. Yehuda's windup in the pitch. In the dirt. Ball 2. Counts 2-1 to McGillick. And low, ball 3. And here's Bruce with some badly needed sustenance. To keep us going, Bruce went out and got us some coffee actually, and you hardly missed him because Speed's doing such a good job. It's full count to Sean McGillick. Yehuda Halevi trying to punch him out. Here's the windup and the pitch. And there's a deep drive, but it's going foul into the trees here at Elliott Field. McGillick connecting nicely again, but going foul. Let's see if he can straighten it out a little bit.
And McGillick walks.
McGillick's on first base. For some reason, Bruce got me the super duper large, cool down quick iced coffee. It's probably in a gallon size. And
is Dunkin' Donuts a sponsor, Howie? Are you trying to push this?
I didn't say the word Dunkin' Donuts, but evidently you did. Here's a pitch to Marco Minicello. It's high ball 1. Thankfully, I will not be driving home because I'll be very skittish after drinking this entire glass of iced coffee. And there's a deep drive by Marco Minicello. Guilfoyle going back. It's gone for a 2-run homer by Marco Minicello over the center field fence. What a blast by the little shortstop for the Orioles. A 2-run homer makes it 13-6. Getting the high five from Coach Arlen Shostak. And here he touches the plate and is greeted by Sean McGillick. What a combination today, McGillick and Marco Minicello. What do you think, Svi?
Put me in a bad spot, Howie. Bruce?
Certainly a lot of power up and down this Orioles team.
You don't expect home runs from the 8 and 9 batters in the order. Up at the plate, Cody Jones. Here's Yehuda's pitch. And a swinging strike, 1. Yehuda's back in the mound. Pausing. Here's the pitch. Low. 1-1 count.
You have 5? No. You have 5. We'll be there. Pirates.
And here's Yehuda. And it gets past the catcher. Ball 2, 2-1. Him up. Another problem with Kyle.
Halevi looks in, delivers. Cody Jones swinging. And it's either 1-2 or 2-1. 2-2.
2-2. So it was 2-1 before. Here's the pitch.
Nubber down to third base. Third baseman up with it. Over to first. Safe. Jones with that speed that Zvi Dubitsky was talking about earlier. Legs one out. No one down. Runner on first. And coming to the plate, Pat Moore.
Pat had a nice single in the last inning. Let's see if he can do it again. Takes pitch high and outside, and Cody Jones takes second on the pass ball, and I'll hand it off to my play-by-play partner, Bruce Dahlbeck.
Thanks, Hal. Jones on second. Moore digs in. Halevi delivers. High, but Moore goes after it. Swinging strike. Pat Moore, one of the real treasures in the draft this year.
And for those keeping score at home, it's 13-6. A lot of teams were vying for Pat's services this year, and the Orioles were lucky enough to get him. Somehow.
Any team that gave up Pat Moore would be not a great evaluator of talent, but the Orioles got him, and they're very happy. So,
what the spoils go to the richer? What's that for? Here's the pitch, and Moore grounds it to the second baseman, and
he bobbles it over, but unable to get the runner at first. Moore advances to first on the error by the first baseman. Cody Jones over to second base. Nobody out, first and third. Terrence Rayford coming to the plate. Rayford digs in. Halevi delivers. Swinging strike by Terrence Rayford, and Moore heads on down to second as the ball gets out of the catcher's mitt. Wasn't able to squeeze it. Second and third, nobody down. Rayford at the plate. One strike on him.
We're joined at the broadcast booth by Willie, mascot of Brookline Youth Baseball.
Bert Nadler's dog, Willie. It's the baseball dog. That ball in the dirt, and Cody Jones comes across. Pat Moore over to third. Another run in for the Orioles, making it 14-6. And the sun's now beaten down. It's actually going to get hot. Things are drying out slowly here on the field. And the action certainly is heating up.
Nice pitch. A little outside though by Halevi. Terrence Rayford. Terrence has a double and a walk. 2 runs scored.
Rayford, big batter, beautiful swing. Ducks under that one. And he'll trot on down to first. So we have first and third. Nobody out. Few runs across here for the Orioles.
This could be a big game for the Orioles, Bruce. Right now, if my memory serves correct, the Orioles are 1 game behind the Pirates in the standings. If they win today's game, I believe they'll be tied for the 5th seed, which is important for the playoff standings, as the playoffs will start next week with the 3rd team playing the 6th. Back to the mound is Yehuda Halevi, and up to the plate is Felix Borkoff.
Borkoff digs in, holds that bat high. Looks at a strike, according to Kyle Payne. Looks at the same pitch, called the ball.
Here's Yehuda's windup. Ball 2, 2-1. Terrence takes second.
2-1.
When Bruce mentioned that same pitch, I think
that was
Yehuda
outside, obviously.
Spot that pitch with a slider, using the same type of pitch.
Difficult to see the strike zone from this angle.
Yeah, this is a tough angle. We're right on the side of the field. We don't have a dead center view.
But that one we know is a strike because Felix swung and missed. Halevi delivers.
He caught it. That's strike 3. A beautiful catch by the catcher, Dan Howard, to hold on to a foul tip for strike 3. That's the first out of the inning. One out, runners on second and third, 3 runs are in.
Eric Williams coming to the plate. Halevi delivers. And that shot up the middle for a single. That may plate just one. So first and third, and the Orioles still have it going.
You wonder where this offensive power has been the whole year, Bruce. The Orioles are really swinging the bat well, making contact, and maybe the use of all the hitting practices paid off.
Shostak always has good hitting teams. He likes to teach hitting. Kids are very aggressive. That ball lifted into the second baseman's.
Andrew, guy on third.
Andrew with the catch there.
Andrew Lever.
So Lever getting the second out of the inning, first and third. Next batter coming to the plate. Little confusion here on the Orioles bench.
Should be Nick Kelly. He came in for Matt Farrar.
Kelly, number 10 for the Orioles. Levy looks at Kelly, stare down, ball in the dirt, and that'll get, I believe it's Eric Williams over to second. So it's second and third for the Orioles. I think Kyle Payne just got nicked with that ball.
You get on the instep of the foot.
Looks like he's limping around. Both coaches over, trying to help him out. He's got a smile on his face, so hopefully he's not too hurt. He's a trooper. And there's a ball lifted into right field, just fair. And that ball will dribble around out there for a double, plating two more Oriole runners. A bloop double there by Thorne?
No, Eric Williams, Nick Kelly.
Nick Kelly.
And the score is now 17-6.
Sean McGillick, with that towering home run, is now the batter. Throw down to third, not quite in time as the ball got by the catcher. Catcher ran to the backstop.
Okay. Blockout? No, 10 run.
And there's another ball hit very high, but not deep enough as Guilfoyle gets under it and gets the third out of the inning. McGillick swinging a hot bat, but not high enough, but not far enough on that one.
Pirates coming up to bat in the bottom of the fourth inning, down 17-6. They need to score a few runs. We'll be right back.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Larry, you know, this simple exercise can help you stay healthy, which keeps medical costs down.
But you gotta do it every day, Vince. Or you'll get out of shape fast.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
To Todd Brem.
Brem, the top of the order here for the Pirates. Rayford delivers. Next pitch. It's a fluff ball just into the outfield for a single. Brem over to first. Rayford really took something off that pitch.
You know it. If he don't score any runs, he's going to call it. First kid up there. Andrew Lever to the plate.
Lever looks at the ball high.
Have an exuberant parent. That's 1-1 on Andrew.
Clouds have come back here in force, getting a little cool actually. Weather, variable.
Score, 17-6.
Rayford delivers, ball in the dirt, gets by Jones. Lever over to first.
The runner at second with no outs. Andrew Lever so far today has walked and sacrificed a runner.
That's it, Andrew.
And he fights that one off.
A little high, Andrew.
For a foul ball. Runner on second base, nobody out here for the Pirates in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Rayford delivers behind the runner Lever.
Good at bat, Andrew. Good at bat.
Lever trots on down to first, so we have runners on first and second. Brem at second, Lever at first, and Ryan Guilfoy coming up.
Ryan hit a prodigious shot over a right field fence for a 3-run homer, I believe, last inning.
He's got some power in that bat. Rayford delivers the first pitch, high and away, ball.
Folks, we appreciate you watching Brookline Youth Baseball today. Coming to you from Elliott Field, I'm Howard Rosenstein alongside Bruce Dahlbeck. That was a high pitch. Guilfoy.
Looks at the next ball in the dirt. Advancing the runners. An interesting slide by Brem into third base. So Guilfoy with runners on second and third. Digs in. Rayford delivers. Outside. 3-0. 4-0. I would say that's a walk.
It is in most leagues. Brings up Sean O'Malley with the bases full of ducks on the pond. No outs. McGill calling out the play to home. At this rate, they'd probably just go for an out with a big lead.
O'Malley swings at the first pitch.
Bruce, I think Terrence is going to be one of the star pitchers in the league next year. He's only 11 years old. He throws hard. He'll need to work on his mechanics a little bit, but there's no reason why he shouldn't be one of the top pitchers in the league next year, along with Brendan O'Connor.
Big pitcher, generates a lot of power. Second pitch is a ball, 1-1 here on O'Malley, the starting pitcher for the Pirates. 2-1 against Rayford. Orioles need a quick triple play to end this. Ball in the dirt. Runners do not advance. And the sun's back out. Rayford delivers the next pitch to O'Malley. And there's a walk, forcing in Brem. Bases are still loaded with Pirates.
For those keeping score at home, that would be an RBI for O'Malley.
Shostak trots out to talk to his tall right-hander, Terrence Rayford.
That brings home the 7th run for the Pirates.
Surveying the situation, Shostak
does not make a call. Real confusion in the broadcast booth. Whose coffee's who?
The batter here, Ned
Murphy.
Ned Murphy holds the bat high. Swings, 1-1.
Bases still loaded with no outs.
There's a number in front of the plate.
Foul ball.
Foul ball.
Actually looked like it hit him as he was coming out of the batter's box, which would be a foul ball.
As long as he was still in the batter's box.
Right. Absolutely.
And if he was out of the batter's box,
He would be out, because any ball hit that hits a runner, you're out. As long as it's not touched by a defensive person.
Giving you the lessons of baseball, Howard Rosenstein. And there's a strikeout for the first out of the inning by Ned Murphy. Next Pirate up, Joe Lawler. Timeout on the field. Still full of Pirates, the bases. Lawler digs in. Rayford delivers. Outside. Rayford delivers high. The Pirates do not advance. Rayford's still struggling a bit with control. Throws hard. Don't know where he's going to throw necessarily. Delivers a strike right there, though.
Beautiful pitch by Rayford, right down the pipe.
Works all around that plate. And there's a shot just past Felix Borikoff into right field. Brings it back in, and that'll plate 2 runs for the Pirates. So they've scored 3 this inning. And the next batter coming up,
Dan Howard.
Howard, a lefty, swings at the first pitch. Rayford delivers outside and high. This has really been an offensive feast for both teams.
Sure has. 24 runs scored. Oh, 17-9, 26 runs in 4 innings.
And there's a ball lifted into center field where Pat Moore is able to run it out. Pat Moore with a great catch out there for the second out of the inning. Steve Zvi shouting out directions to his players as Yehuda Halevi comes up to the plate. Halevi looks at the first ball, outside and low. First and second for the Pirates. Delivers another ball low.
This is Yehuda's first at bat in today's game. Came in as a relief pitcher. Relieving Joe Lawler, I believe.
So first and second, 3 runs across here for the Pirates. Halevi digs in. Nubs a ball down to third, and that one will come across the diamond over to Sean McGillick, who squeezes it for the third out of the inning. Pirates plate 3, more runs, and we'll be back with the Orioles in the top of the 5th.
They're still around, and these diseases could be life-threatening if you don't protect your baby from them. Full protection takes around 5 visits for shots, starting by 2 months and ending by age 2. Ask if your baby is up to date on every visit to your doctor. Or if you don't have a doctor, call 1-800-232-2522 to find out where to get your baby shots. When it comes to immunization, your baby's counting on you.
Back at Elliott Field after the game, where the Orioles beat the Pirates this afternoon. I'm with Bruce Dahlbeck and the stars of today's game. For the Pirates, we have Ryan Guilfoyle, who hit a prodigious home run over right center field fence. Ryan, tell us a little bit about that home run today.
Well, I just swung, and Terrence pitched the pitch that I like, and it just went.
What kind of pitch do you like? Do you like the ball right over the plate on the outside part of the plate so you can hit it over to right field?
Well, if I'm going to hit it to left field, I'd like it in the inside. If I'm going to hit it to right field, I'd like it on the outside.
Well, That's someone that knows how to hit the ball very well. And alongside, we have the 3 Oriole representatives today. We have Marco Minicello, Kyle Pauly, and Sean McGillick. And to ask them a couple of questions is Bruce Dahlbeck.
Great, thanks, Hal. Orioles came up with a lot of power today, guys. Each of you hit a home run. How did that one feel?
I didn't hit a home run.
Sorry. All right, we'll try to find somebody who did. How was the home run, Sean?
Well, it's a full count, and I just wanted to try and get on base, and so I didn't even realize it would be a home run. I thought it was just going to be inside the park.
It was a great shot way over the fence, and I believe you hit a home run too, right?
Yeah, it was low pitch, the kind of pitch I liked on a 1-0 count, and I smashed it deep to center, and I got my second home run.
Kyle, great game?
Yeah. I did make the sliding catch in left field.
That was a great play, great defense, great offense, and the Orioles come up with this one 17-9, and they will now be tied with the Pirates. So we'll see you guys later in the playoffs.